You open your eyes slowly. There is no sound, no rush, no sharpness. Only a gentle stillness. A kind of quiet that feels like part of your dream, continuing in silence. The air inside your wooden hut still carries the coolness of night. You lie curled in a nest of dried grass and soft bark. Your body folded like a fruit not yet opened. Your breath slow, your heart steady. Outside, the wind doesn't blow through the door. But you can sense it waiting just beyond the walls. Hovering, brushing lightly against the edge of the world. You know it's dawn. Not day. Not night. But the in-between. The thinnest layer of time. When dreams are still echoing and nothing is urgent yet. You shift your paw slightly. Feeling the texture of straw between your toes. It's dry and soft. Like an old letter you've never read, but kept. You raise your head. Your body feels lighter now. Not because you slept well. But because something small and quiet, has changed. You walk toward the door. It's made of pine wood, slightly uneven. With thin cracks where the morning mist slips through. You press your nose to the gap. There it is. The scent of damp soil, cold bark. And the faint trace of sleeping flowers. You slowly push the door open. It creaks, not sharply. But like a friend politely saying, "Good morning." You step outside. And the forest is waiting. The trees are still half asleep. They stand motionless, like gentle watchers who stayed up all night. Each leaf holds a drop of dew. The sun hasn't yet climbed above the hill. So every surface is dim, soft, quiet. You breathe in deeply. The air is cool and sweet. And when you exhale, your breath becomes a tiny cloud. Rising, lingering, fading into the mist. You look down at yourself. Your fur is brown. Not too dark, not too bright. Not striking, not dull. Just brown. You stare at it for a moment. Your eyes tracing the edges of your own color. And somewhere inside, a thought begins to form. Small, simple, but powerful. What color am I, really? It's not a question anyone asked you. And you didn't hear it from others. It just floated in. Like a wind that entered without knocking. You lift your eyes. The mountain in the distance is wrapped in fog. Its outline soft and blurred. Like something remembered from a fading dream. You sit on the stone near your doorway. Letting the morning hold you in its slow rhythm. The wind brushes the tops of trees. Not loudly, not coldly. But as if it's telling you something only you can hear. You may go. You may look. You don't move just yet. You sit. You let the stillness settle into your fur. Into your paws. Into your thoughts. A few birds hop along the branches. They don't sing. They know this isn't the time for songs. It's the time for noticing. You pick up a small leaf lying near your foot. It's pale green, with a torn edge. As if it had traveled far to arrive here. You hold it for a while. It doesn't look like you. It doesn't speak. But it is a color. And that color tells you something. You gently place it back on the ground. And then, a soft realization rises inside. You want to know more. So you rise and begin to walk. The path ahead is familiar. But today, it feels different. The ground is slightly damp, like freshly steamed rice, soft, springy, and warm beneath your paws. Each step releases scents from the earth, bark, moss, and something old and kind. You don't have a goal. You're not looking for food, or shelter, or company. You're looking for a feeling. One that lets you say, quietly and truly, This is me. Somewhere above, a drop of water falls from a leaf and lands on a piece of bark with a soft top. The sound is small, but it sends ripples through your thoughts. You don't chase the sound. You don't answer the question. You simply keep walking, like a breeze, without direction. The mist begins to thin. The sunlight filters in like fingers pulling back a curtain. You pause. You turn, and look back at your hut. It's already half hidden in the fog. As if it, too, is slipping into a dream. And somehow, you understand. This morning will not return. But you don't need it to. Because you are walking forward now. You don't know what you'll find. But maybe, somewhere ahead, there is a place where you'll no longer ask what color you are. Because you'll already know. Brown. Still. And completely your own. You keep walking, softly, slowly. Into the forest. Into the quiet. Into yourself. You walk slowly. Not because you are tired. But because today, slow feels right. Today is not made for rushing. The forest has warmed just a little. Not with sun exactly. But with a quiet heat that hides between the shadows of trees. Like someone gently placing a soft cloth over your back without saying a word. You pass a row of old trees. They stand tall and still. Like elders with stories they have chosen not to tell. Their trunks were moss like old coats. The light filtering through the branches breaks into silver fragments. Touching the leaves, touching your fur. The ground beneath your feet feels moist and comforting. As if the forest had been washed in sleep. And the earth now rises to greet your every step. Not with sound, but with presence. You walk with no path in mind. You follow no map. But you do not feel lost. Because you are not trying to arrive. You are trying to listen. Then, just as you step past a cracked stone, you see it. A fox. Its fur is orange. Not fiery, not bright. But warm, like the last piece of sunset. Resting gently on the edge of the hills. The fox doesn't look surprised. In fact, it seems as if it has been waiting for you. It sits on a crooked tree root, tail curled neatly. Eyes half closed, half smiling. You stop walking. And then, the fox speaks. Its voice is calm and low, almost like it's whispering to the wind instead of to you. Looking for your color, are you? You nod. The fox tilts its head. And maybe, just maybe, smiles. Color, it says with a stretch, isn't something you find. It's something you live. You stay quiet. You're not sure yet what the fox means. but the words settle into you like the warmth of sun on stone. The fox rises slowly and shakes off a few fallen leaves. Its movements are light, as though it's walking on mist. "Look at me," it says. "I didn't go looking for orange. I just kept walking, hiding, sleeping, laughing. And the wind and the earth, they placed it on me." You stare, soft curiosity in your eyes. The fox walks a little closer. But not too close. Its voice is now near your ear. Gentle, clear. Sometimes color is not what you look like. Sometimes, it's how you always are. You don't fully understand. But you like the sound of it. It touches something inside. Not a thought. But a feeling. You walk side by side for a while. No words. Just steps. Through soft grass and drifting petals. The fox's paws are nearly silent. Your steps are slow, like listening in motion. Then the fox stops. "I must go," it says. "I'm looking for a little more light." You ask quietly, "Do you know what color I am?" The fox turns. Eyes both sharp and soft. Like looking through morning fog at the rising sun. It shakes its head, slowly. "You're not a color," it says. "You're a color becoming." And then, a leap. A blur. A ripple through leaves. The fox is gone. You don't follow. You just watch the orange shadow dissolve into the trees. Like the last ember fading from a dream. And you begin walking again. This time, even slower. Even lighter. You think of the way the fox moved. Like wind. The tail like a flame. The gaze like the moment before sunset. Maybe that's what orange feels like. Maybe, one day, you'll walk that way too. Not because you found it, but because you became it. A long breath leaves your chest. Not tired. Just released. Ahead are more trees. More paths. More quiet moments waiting to show you who you are. Without ever needing to say it. And so, you continue on. Softly. Into your forest of becoming. You walk deeper into the forest. The mist is beginning to lift. Sunlight slips between the trees in soft golden threads. Resting gently on your fur like quiet hands. The light doesn't push. It arrives slowly, like breath, like thought. The wind is hushed now. And the air has taken on a soft dampness. As if someone, somewhere, had just washed their face. Leaving tiny drops of water to hang in the air. You follow that feeling. You don't know why. But something ahead is calling, not loudly, not with words. Just waiting. Then you hear it. Not a stream. Not a waterfall. No bubbling, no chatter. Just the hush of water at rest. As if it is thinking, but not speaking. You push past a low tangle of branches. And suddenly, the forest opens. There it is. A lake. Still. Wide. Flat as a mirror placed gently on the earth. You step closer. The edge of the lake greets your paws with a quiet welcome. Cool and calm. You crouch down, folding your body into yourself. Lowering your head slowly, as if not to disturb even the thought of water. And there you are, reflected in the lake. Your nose, your ears, the brown of your fur, and something else, something behind your eyes. A question, faint, like breath on glass. You whisper softly, as if speaking too loudly would break something sacred. Am I blue? The lake doesn't answer. It only holds your image. Your face, your shape, your wondering eyes. Now and then, a breeze brushes the lake's center, and small ripples form, blurring your reflection into shifting pieces. You look up. The sky is blue. The lake is blue. But you are still brown. You try to imagine. What if you were blue? Would you be more like the sky? Like the mist? Would you feel wider, calmer, quieter? But the lake gives you no answers. Only the same steady silence. As if to say, I will show you, but not tell you. You sit down slowly. The ground here is soft. A few small stones lie scattered nearby. You pick one up, smooth and cool, and toss it gently into the water. The lake trembles for a moment. Waves spread outward in perfect rings. And your reflection breaks. Not violently, but like petals falling from a flower. And just then, you understand. Maybe some questions are not meant to be answered by others. Maybe you don't need to be told. Maybe if you sit long enough, quietly enough, the sharpness of the question will smooth itself. You close your eyes. You listen. The breeze brushes the leaves behind you. Somewhere, a bird glides low across the water. Its wings barely touching the surface, leaving only a whisper in its path. Your own breath is now slower, deeper, softer. You remember the fox's words. Color is something you live. And now you wonder. Does the lake live? Does it have a color? Or is it simply being blue? You let the thoughts come. And then you let them go. You lean against a round stone. Your eyes drifting open just a little. The sun is higher now. Its warmth touches your back. Not hot. Not cold. Just enough. You feel yourself becoming lighter. Not your body, but your thoughts. Like petals on the surface of the lake. Spreading, floating, fading. You stop asking what color you are. You simply stay. Watching the lake. Letting it watch you back. And slowly, you begin to feel. Perhaps this is what blue really is. It does not speak. It does not hurry. It does not try to be known. It only stays. Still. True. And gently, it invites you to do the same. The trees begin to thin. The forest slowly opens into a wide, gentle clearing, where the light is softer, more golden, spilling across the grass like warm tea poured slowly into a shallow cup. You slow your steps. The air here feels lighter. And just ahead, basking in a pool of sunlight, you see someone. A rabbit. Small and gray. Lying on a smooth stone warmed by the day. Its ears are folded lazily, and its eyes are half closed, as if caught between sleep and thought, resting in that quiet space where dreams linger. You come closer. The rabbit doesn't run. It lifts one eye slowly and blinks at you, calm and unafraid. "Hello there," it says. Its voice is light, like a breeze drifting across open fields in the afternoon. Soft, almost smiling. You nod and sit beside it, lowering yourself into the warm grass. The earth is sun-warmed. Your body relaxes immediately. Shoulders soften, paws sink slightly, and your breath lengthens without you trying. The rabbit doesn't look at you now. It's gazing up at the sky, as if watching something only it can see. "You're looking for your color," it asks. You nod again. "Have you seen mine?" you ask. The rabbit doesn't answer that question. Instead, it lets out a long, lazy yawn. And after a pause, it says, "I had a dream." You tilt your head, listening. In the dream, it says, "I wasn't a rabbit anymore." Its voice grows even softer, like it's telling a secret to the clouds. "I became a cloud," it says, light as a whisper. No ears, no feet. I didn't know where I was going, but I didn't need to. The wind carried me, and I didn't resist. I just floated. It closes its eyes a moment, as if tasting the memory. I drifted over mountains, it continues, slid above lakes, and passed through other dreams. Not just mine, but dreams belonging to stars, and owls, and trees. You listen, quietly. Not because you understand, but because the way the rabbit speaks. Soft, slow, unhurried. Makes the story feel like it belongs somewhere deep in you. "In the dream," says the rabbit, "I didn't have a color. But I wasn't empty. I was what comes right before color. The moment when you haven't yet chosen who to be." You blink slowly. You don't fully grasp the meaning. But something in that image, being on the edge of becoming, feels true. "Did you want to stay a cloud?" you ask. The rabbit smiles gently. "No. Not really," it says. "When I woke up, I was back here, being a rabbit again. And that felt right. Clouds belong to dreams. But rabbits..." It stretches a little. "Rabbits are for sunny stones, fresh grass, and naps." You smile, too. Not because it's funny, but because it feels soft. Right. A breeze stirs the grass. It bends, then rises again. You and the rabbit lie side by side, watching a few clouds float slowly across the wide blue sky. They move just as the rabbit described. Weightless, unsure, and beautiful without needing to explain why. You wonder quietly, could color be something you dream? Not something you find, but something you allow to come to you. When you're still enough, gentle enough, open enough. You close your eyes. Not to sleep, but to feel. The grass beneath you is warm. The air smells like clover and dust and late afternoon. The light has softened again. spilling across the world in longer strokes. You feel safe. Still. Like you're exactly where you need to be. Doing nothing but being. And just as your thoughts begin to drift, the rabbit's voice returns. Barely more than a whisper. Sometimes, color isn't something you see. It's something you feel. You don't answer. You breathe out slowly. And everything, the earth, the sky, the cloud above, seems to breathe with you. You are still searching for your color. But maybe, just maybe, you don't have to look too far. You only need to wait. And let the dream find you. When you wake, the wind has already arrived. It didn't arrive with noise. It came gently, like an old friend who slips quietly into the room, sits beside you, and waits without needing to speak. You rise slowly and step out beneath the trees. Something has changed in the forest. The light is still there, but it's softer now. It no longer wraps you in warmth, but drapes itself over the world like freshly washed fabric. Delicate, faded just slightly, and floating. You walk. The path beneath your paws is covered in leaves that didn't used to be there. They crunch softly, but not sharply. Like soft paper stories being retold. Above, the trees whisper. Their leaves rustle. But the sound is not playful. It's quieter. Lower. Like a goodbye whispered not to be heard, but to be felt. You look up. The green you remember has begun to fade at the edges. Some leaves are curling in gold. Some red. Some simply letting go. They fall. Not all at once. Not in a hurry. But in that ungraspable rhythm that only wind understands. Some drift down to your shoulders. Some settle in the nearby stream. Some land softly at your feet. You kneel, gently picking one up. It's yellow. Its edges are curled inward. Its center light is air. You turn it over in your paw. And somewhere inside a quiet question rises. Do colors die? You don't ask in sadness. You ask like someone wondering why the night is dark. Or why silence sometimes feels like music. You stand and keep walking. The wind grows stronger. Not rough, but confident. Leaves swirl around you. Colors shift overhead. Reds higher, yellows farther, browns quietly finding the ground. You feel part of it. As if you, too, are a leaf. Not yet sure of your landing place, but already letting go of the branch you came from. The fox's words echo in your memory. Color is something you live. You wonder. Are these falling colors living too? Are they becoming something, even as they fall? Perhaps they are. Perhaps color doesn't disappear. It only moves. It changes shape. Changes place. It fades. And in fading, it becomes part of something else. You pause beneath a tall tree. It's old. Its trunk is thick with cracks. Its branches mostly bare now. You look up. And somehow, you feel the tree is looking back at you. It says nothing. But inside, you understand. Color isn't just on you. It was in the leaf before you arrived. In the stone where you once Saturday. In the wind that passed through your fur. And when it leaves, it's not gone. You remember it. You sit. The wind plays around your ears. Between your paws. Through the space beneath your arms. It doesn't take anything from you. It simply touches. And in doing so, makes space. You breathe deeply. The forest breathes with you. And you feel lighter. Not smaller. Not less. Just lighter. You close your eyes. The leaves keep falling. But now, you don't watch them. You feel them. Each one a whisper of a moment. A color no longer clinging to a name. You don't ask where color goes anymore. Because now, you understand. Some colors don't stay to be held. They pass through. They visit. They soften and drift and vanish. And still, you are here. And the wind is here. And maybe, just maybe, the season you are becoming has a color of its own. Evening falls. Not like a curtain pulled down, but like ink dropped into water. Spreading slowly, softly, darkening everything in quiet waves. From the tips of the trees, to the leaves above your head, to the ground beneath your paws. Everything changes color. Until the world is no longer bright, but gently shadowed. You're still walking. But now, there's no sunlight to show you the way. And that's okay. Because darkness doesn't mean you're lost. It just means, things are quieter. The wind has changed. It no longer dances through the branches. Now it hums low. Like breath. Like thought. Like the space between heartbeats. Ahead, the forest opens again. And there, once more, you find the lake. Still. Waiting. You recognize it immediately. Though now it has changed. Not in shape, but in feeling. No longer a mirror for the day. It is now a sleeping surface. Holding shadows. Holding stars. You sit down. Like before. You pull your knees in close. Curling your body against a smooth stone. Still warm from the last of the day's light. Then, slowly, the moon rises. Not suddenly. Not with a shout. But with the softness of something that knows it doesn't need to hurry. The moon climbs into the sky. Like a lantern being carefully lifted. Round. White. Silent. It hangs there above you. And it looks at you. And you look back. And even though no words are spoken, you feel the question come. Not from within you, but from the moon itself. A quiet question, glowing in silver. What color do you think you are? You blink. You weren't expecting to be asked. You thought you were the one looking for answers. But now, you realize, you've also been watched. Listened to. Reflected back. You think of the lake. The fox. The rabbit's dream. The wind. The falling leaves. And somehow, this question feels different. Not demanding. Not urgent. Just gently wondering. The moonlight touches your nose. Cool and soft. It doesn't press. It only rests. You lower your head. And look into the water. There you are again. But only barely. The moon's reflection is there beside yours. The light ripples slightly. And your features are softer now. Harder to define. But you don't mind. You're not trying to see clearly anymore. You're just being here. And in that being, you understand. Color isn't always something you see. Sometimes, it's something that stays glowing behind your eyelids. A warmth. A tone. A quiet hum. You breathe in. The night air smells of wet bark and grass and a distant hint of lake water. You hold that breath. Then slowly let it go. Slower. Softer. Quieter. You lean back. The stone supports you. The night holds you. And above, the moon stays. Not watching to judge. But watching, just to be near. You feel it wrap around you. Not as a blanket. But as a gentle presence. Like memory. Like story. Like the pause before a dream begins. The lake stirs slightly. A ripple touches the edge where your paw rests. It sounds like a whisper. You've come far. You don't say anything. But in your heart, you quietly answer. I know. And I'm still going. Night has deepened. The lake is still now. So still that even the wind has stepped away. Retreating to the tops of the tallest trees. Where only the leaves shift softly. As if turning over in their dreams. You remain on the stone. Still. Quiet. You haven't moved in a while. And strangely, it doesn't feel like stillness. It feels like motion of a different kind. An inward kind. The sky opens further. Where once it was only blackness. A few stars now begin to appear. Not all at once. Not in a rush. They blink into view slowly. As if someone were gently pressing specks of light. Into a deep, velvet canvas. You look up. You don't count them. You don't ask anything of them. You just watch. And they watch back. But they don't speak. They make no promises. They offer no metaphors like the fox. No dreams like the rabbit. No ripples like the lake. They simply are. Far. Silent. Bright. And suddenly, you understand something. Maybe this is what an answer really looks like. Not a word. Not a sentence. But a presence. Something that simply exists. And in doing so, tells you exactly what you need to know. Without needing to say a thing. You lie back. The grass beneath you is cool. But not too cool. It cradles you gently. As if it knows you've come a long way. You place your paws softly over your chest. Feeling the quiet rise and fall of your breath. Slower now. Deeper. You think back. To the questions you asked. To the colors you chased. To the way the wind moved. and how it felt to sit beneath the moon. You realize something else. Something quiet and true. You aren't the same color anymore. Not because your fur has changed, but because you have changed. You feel more like a tree the wind once touched. Like a hill the clouds once passed over. Like water the moon once lit. Like this very earth beneath you now, holding the soft shape of your rest. You are not a single color. You are a journey of colors. Colors that appeared, that faded, that whispered and left. The stars still don't speak, but they glow. They hold space. And somehow, that feels like enough. You close your eyes. Behind your eyelids, their light still lingers. Not as points, but as a quiet glow. A memory of brightness. Like the sound before a dream begins. Like breath just before sleep. Like you, slowly becoming the night. You are no longer looking for color. Because now, you have become it. Not a color to be found, but a color to be lived. A quiet color, folded into the dark, settling softly into the long silence of sleep. You are asleep now. Truly asleep. Not halfway, not imagining, but deep, gently wrapped in a kind of sleep that doesn't begin with a question, and doesn't wait for an answer. You don't know when your eyes closed, or which star convinced you to let go. You don't know which breath became the one that drifted you away. But you're gone, softly, slowly. Not lost. Just deeply held. Your body is no longer something solid. It has become light. Like fog settling into grass. Like a quiet thought, floating without edges. Dream arrives. It doesn't knock. It doesn't open a door. It flows, like a gentle mist rolling in from somewhere far, coating everything in softness. Each swirl tinged with the faintest shade of color. In the dream, you are no longer a bear. You become wind. Light. Silent. Without fur or paws or footprints. You move through the trees. Not touching. Only passing. Only noticing. Wind has no color. Yet you feel something blue within it. Not the blue of skies. Nor the blue of lakes. But a translucent blue that feels cool. Quiet. Like the color of morning before it fully arrives. You drift past a stone. A stone that remembers your rest. It says nothing. It only hums with a faint warmth left behind. Then, you become a cloud. Clouds have no feet. No heartbeats. You float above hills, rivers, and forests. You see places you've walked, shrunken now to gentle shapes. As if time itself has curled into sleep. Is a cloud white? Not really. Your color shifts constantly. Golden in sunlight. Gray in rain. Nearly invisible at twilight. But none of it frightens you. Because now you know. Color is never still. It flows. Like you. And changes. Like breath. You descend slowly. Not falling. Becoming. Now. You are a drop of water. Not rain. Not a splash. You are part of a lake. That same quiet lake that once reflected your wondering face. Now. You are the lake. You hold the stars within you. You feel their light. But you don't need to name them. They flicker. And you simply ripple once. Then settle. Water is blue, isn't it? Perhaps. But now you know. Sometimes color isn't in what you are, but in what you reflect. You become still. So still. Then. You are a leaf. A single leaf. Caught in a slow motion breeze. Not the kind that clings to the branch. The kind that lets go. You sway slightly. Hovering between sky and earth. Your edges have turned golden. And you are ready. You are not afraid. Even the fall feels soft. Like floating home. All around you. The forest glows in quiet layers. Some trees still green. Others fading into amber. And some already asleep beneath the soil. You want to sleep, too. You are no longer the wind. Nor the cloud. Nor the water. Nor the leaf. You are you again. A small bear. Nestled in the center of the dream. The stars remain above. Still watching. Still saying nothing. And this dream. It doesn't end. It doesn't break. It stretches through the night. Not as a path to follow, but as a place to rest within. This is the dream's color. Not a color of brightness, but a color of peace. A color of letting go. You breathe within it. Your body rises and falls. Slower than before. Softer. Steadier. You are not trying to wake. There is nothing to find. Only the gentle movement of color within the quiet. It moves through you. Through your thoughts. Through time itself. It touches no edges, but fills every space. You don't have to hold on to it. It holds you. And when morning comes, this color will not vanish. It will remain, curled in the corner of your spirit, as soft as fur, as cool as water, as silent as stars. But not yet. Now. You are sleeping. Like a leaf on the forest floor. Like a ripple stilled on a lake. Like the blue that lives in the space between dreams. You are no longer looking for color. Because now, you are part of it. Not a color to describe, but a color that breathes. A color that listens. A color that sleeps with you. All through the night. Morning hasn't arrived fully yet. But the darkness is no longer the same. It has lightened, just barely, into something softer. A faint gray-blue. Like a thin veil gently unfurling across the sky. Quietly wrapping the treetops. The grass. The water. And, you. You're still lying there. Not quite awake. Not quite dreaming. Suspended in that fragile space between two worlds. You haven't opened your eyes. And you don't need to. Your body is still heavy with warmth. The earth beneath you holds the memory of the night. And the dream. It still lingers. Like fog that hasn't fully lifted. Like music still echoing inside a shell. You feel it. The faintest chill in the air. But it doesn't bite. It touches your fur like the breath of the forest. Cool and kind. Tiny dewdrops rest along the edges of the grass. Like tiny pieces of starlight that didn't want to leave. Some have gathered on your back. But you don't shiver. Because the soil below is still warm. Still gentle. You take a slow breath. The air tastes new. There's a crispness to it. Like leaves just uncurled. Like light before it becomes gold. And somewhere within that breath, you decide to wake. But not all at once. Not with a jolt. You open your eyes the way you open your heart to silence. Gradually. Softly. With nothing to prove. The sky above is pale. Not golden yet. Just a quiet silver that hums without sound. It's the kind of light that doesn't push you forward. It waits. Patient as a friend. You sit up. Your body stretches gently. Without tension. The stone you leaned against last night is still beside you. Still cool. Still silent. Still holding the weight of dreams. The lake remains. Flat and breathless. Holding only mist now. The stars having long since gone to sleep. You glance down at yourself. Still the same small bear. Same fur. Same paws. But something is different. Not on the outside. But somewhere just beneath your chest. There's a kind of glow. Not bright. Not loud. But present. Like a flower still closed. But turning toward the light. You rise to your feet. Slowly. You feel the way the earth responds to your pause. How the grass yields slightly. How the dampness rises gently with your movement. You stretch again. Not because you're sore. But because the morning asks it of you. And as you stand there, you remember the dream. Not in full. Not in order. But in feeling. You remember what it felt like to be wind. To be cloud. To be water. To be leaf. You remember the silence of the stars. And the softness of the moonlight. And suddenly, you realize something simple and true. You didn't find a color. Not the kind you can name. Or hold. Or point to. But you feel full of something now. Not full like a cup. Full like the forest when it listens. Full like the sky just before it changes. You start to walk again. No rush. No plan. Just a quiet step after another. Letting the path appear as you move. Behind you, the lake stays still. Ahead of you, the mist is lifting. You hear the faintest sound. A droplet falling from a branch. A bird calling softly to itself. The sigh of a tree waking. And in all of it, you feel no urgency. No need to search. Because the question you carried, it has dissolved. You don't need to ask anymore. Because something inside you has become the answer. Not through knowing, but through feeling. You're not chasing color now. You are walking with it. Inside it. Beside it. And maybe that's all it ever wanted. To be noticed. To be felt. To be lived. The breeze that brushes your face is light. It carries nothing away. It simply moves. Like a dream's final breath. You take another step. The morning follows you. Or maybe walks alongside you. And for the first time, you don't wonder where you're going. You just go. Because now, you are no longer a bear who searches for color. You are a traveler who has dreamed in it, rested in it, and now carries it in the quiet places of your heart. And in that softness, you smile. The kind of smile that doesn't need to be seen. The kind that belongs only to you. And to the morning. You've returned. Not to a new place, but to where you began. There's no sign to greet you. No banner waving. No voice calling out, "You're home." And yet, you know. Every part of you knows. This small patch of forest, with its old tree, its quiet bend in the trail, its soft dip in the grass, where you once lay and wondered, it's still here. And now, so are you. The earth beneath your paws is soft, like memory that has waited patiently. The sky is pale blue, the kind of blue that holds no urgency. The sun filters gently through the canopy above, casting flecks of golden light that touch your fur like warm threads of silence. You don't speak, but there's a calm inside you, settled deep, that whispers, "I'm back." You sit beneath the old tree. Its bark is rough, but when you lean against it, it holds you like a promise. Like something strong that doesn't need words. You close your eyes. Not to sleep. Just to rest. To feel. The wind returns. Not strong. Not loud. Just enough to move a few leaves. Just enough to remind you. I remember you. You hear the branches above swaying. But they don't creak. They breathe. The forest breathes with you. And in that breath, you begin to remember. Not just the journey, but the feelings. You remember the blue of the lake. The orange fur of the fox. The hush of the sleeping rabbit. The moon's quiet question. And the stars that never answered out loud. You remember becoming wind. Becoming cloud. Becoming water. Becoming leaf. These memories don't come in a rush. They unfold. Like soft fabric unrolling in your mind. Layer by layer. You didn't find the color. Not in the way you once expected. No voice said, "Here it is." No moment declared, "You've arrived." And yet, somehow, you feel full of color now. Not the kind you can name, but the kind that grows. Quietly. Slowly. Deep inside. You don't need to ask anymore. You don't need to prove or collect or define. Because it's there. In you. Like sunlight on your paws. Like the faint scent of moss in the breeze. Like the silence that surrounds you. Not because it lacks sound, but because it holds peace. This feeling. It's not joy. Not sadness. Not even relief. It's something else. Something gentle. It's the feeling of sitting beneath an old tree. Not needing to speak. And knowing you are whole. You understand now. Color isn't an answer. It's a process. A becoming. You once believed it was a place. A dot on a map. A goal to reach. But now, you know the truth. It was in the steps. The breaths. The pauses. In the questions you asked. The moments you stood still. You glanced down at your fur. Still brown. Still soft. But that doesn't matter anymore. Because what matters is the journey your heart took. The way you listened. The way you noticed. The way you felt. You take one more slow breath. The wind catches it. As if holding a wish. The sky brightens a little more. The forest glows in response. Not because you found something, but because you allowed something to grow. You close your eyes again. This time, not to rest, but to settle. To let the morning carry you a little deeper into quiet. To let the color inside you take root. You are no longer searching. Because now, you are the color itself. The color of softness. Of silence. Of everything lived fully and gently. And as the forest stirs, and the light softens further, you sit beneath your old tree, and become still, complete, whole, quiet. The color inside you doesn't need to shine. It simply needs to stay, to breathe, to be. And so you do.